Extreme confidentiality in multi-chain. By design, any raw data stored on a blockchain till now in whatever videos we have seen in multi-chain, it is visible to each and every node, and this leads to loss of confidentiality, and which is a significant problem. So in this video, what we are going to see is that we'll learn a common approach to resolving the confidentiality problem, where data is encrypted before being stored and time-stamped on the chain. So the password for reading the encrypted data is only made available to a subset. So let's check out the IP addresses. So here we have the old IP addresses that we had seen in the earlier videos, 192.168.10.20 and 19. So we have got the same machines. What the only change is node B is on the left and node A is on the right. So we'll start from the beginning. We'll create a blockchain, name chain1 it, and we'll run it in the daemon. So if you are seeing it for the first time, you might as well as connect with the earlier videos to see what we are doing here. So I'm just doing it quickly here. And now on node B we have created this blockchain chain1, and now from node A we are trying to connect to chain1 with the command which is highlighted on the screen. And we'll again run this multi-chain daemon in node A also. And it takes few seconds. It has identified certain commands to use these so that node A gets access to connect, send and receive, and these exclusive permissions are been granted by node B. So now there are 3 streams that we'll be creating. Each stream has got a particular purpose. These streams are named as public keys, items and access, and public keys will be exclusive to distributing the public keys among the nodes. Items will be used to publish datasets, and the third access will be for the accessing the data. So we create this three streams that I had just mentioned: pub keys, items and access, and each of these keys they get a transaction ID. And these transaction ID we'll use it in the video ahead. So we have just created these streams and now we are listing it. So we see these there are 4 streams: root, public keys, items and access. So they have got their individual parameters, they have got their respective read and write permissions, and these are the default permissions and parameters that come up while we create a blockchain stream. So in this video, node B will be reading the confidential content which is written by node A. Node A has the data, and first we will generate with the RSA public key, and prior to this we will just see what are the permissions addresses that this blockchain is currently holding. So chain1 has got 2 addresses. Now 119ZE, what you see on the screen, is of node A, and the other one 114L is node B. So the 114 is common to both the commands, list addresses and list permissions to send. So we'll select that address. So now we'll create a directory, RSA private keys, and we'll use that typical standard OpenSSL thing. So now we have created a private key, and we have just seen this private key. Now out of this private key we are deriving the public key, and public key has been converted into the hex equivalent, and what you see on the screen highlighted, this is currently the hex equivalent of public key. Now let's publish this on to a stream, pub keys stream, which was supposed to hold all this. So this we have published, and we have got a transaction ID. Just note it for the future. We'll be using it in the video ahead. So now we have published this, and now let's move to node A, and we'll see. Okay, it is not connected, so I'll just I think I need to run the daemon. Okay, I think I had not run this, that's the problem. So now I have run it. Now chain1 is running here. So I have seen the address, node A is 19ZE. So I'll just copy it, and I'll get this address exclusive permissions for send and receive. Although I think I had done it earlier also, but I'm just repeating it. So now we get back to node A. Now we'll create a random password and use it to encrypt the data. Now data is, in this case, is proc/cpu info, This is otherwise users are free to use their respective data text file presentations, but it should be in a hex format. So here I have converted this complete CPU proc CPU info into hex, and this is the what you see on the screen is the hex equivalent echo cipher hex. So that's what was there. So now we have to publish this large chunk of hexadecimal data, that cipher hex that you had seen. So I have published it here, and from on the stream items. So after this I have got this transaction ID 5D57, just note it, we'll use it later. And now let's create a directory. So whatever passwords that we'll be using of OpenSSL, just we'll record it for the purpose. We might use it later just in case something goes wrong. So otherwise this is not supposed to be done, that we save the password file here. So now this chain 1 node A will subscribe to pub keys, otherwise it will not be able to use the utilities. And now it will retrieve the node B's RSA public key that we had stored earlier. And again you take note of this transaction ID. Now this transaction ID is likely to be common. So now we'll retrieve the public key at node A, which was stored by node B earlier, and we'll query it with the transaction ID that we had noted. And at node B we'll just cat the file, and we are likely to see the public key. So this alphanumeric gibberish what you see on the screen is the public key which was generated at node B and stored on the pub keys stream. Now this has been extracted here on node A, and now I'll use this key cipher hex to convert that complete encrypted file into a variable key cipher hex. Now I've done already this echo what you see in the screen. So now label. So now let's publish this encrypted password to the access stream using the previous stream from transaction ID and target address together as a label. So now we have published it. We have given it, these are standard commands of multi-chain. So now let's get back to the node B. Now here we need to subscribe to the items, although it is created, but we need to subscribe it, items and access streams. So now here we access it, subscribe it, and again we list streams. So we'll get a transaction ID again here. So this transaction ID will be the same as noted generated earlier, and this will be used to retrieve the cipher X which was generated at node A. So here we use the get transaction data out, that's a function, and now we have got this function here. We have got the transaction data out. We again label it. This will be used for recalling it, and now we list stream key items. These are standard commands, and it thus retrieves the password for the item which was encrypted specially for this node public key. So now we have got this transaction ID 6EDA. Now you see on both the sides we have got the same transaction ID, and now we'll get the transaction out data from this transaction ID. So we have retrieved the original password by decrypting the key cipher hex using the RSA private key that we stored earlier on this node. And now we got this, and finally we can use this password what we had generated to get the CPU file info that we had seen. So we had got this file CPU info from node A, which was encrypted and stored on that side of node, and then it was shared on the blockchain. So now let's revise upon whatever we have done till now. So we started with two nodes, node A and node B, with their respective IP addresses. The purpose is that from node A we'll be able to share some data in an encrypted form to B, and which will be on the basis of peculiar permissions that we grant to node B. So we created a blockchain which was named as chain 1 on node B. We connected to this blockchain from node A on being granted exclusive permissions of send, receive and connect. Thereafter we created three streams on node B which were known as pub keys, items and access. So these functions were shown in the slide. However, I'll just give it in brief here. Public keys meant for storing the keys part, items meant for storing the data part, and access for granting the access part. So we generated one private key on node B, and we subsequently derived the public key from this. We stored this public key in the stream named pubkeys in hex format from node B. Thereafter we came to node A and created a random password to encrypt the data file that we want to share from node A, that is the proc/cpu info, and we stored it in a variable known as cipher hex, which is again supposedly in a hex format. Further to this, we published this cipher hex in a stream items, and thereafter we retrieved the public key from node B on node A with the get transmission out data, which is again based on the unique transaction ID generated per transaction. Then we encrypted the password with this retrieved public key, and this we stored in a shell variable that is known as key cipher x, which was again published to items, which is item stream. And thereafter we came back to node B with the transaction ID generated. We retrieved the variable cipher hex with which was stored in the proc CPU info, which stored the proc CPU info. And thereafter we also retrieved the password stored on items stream with the get transmission out data transaction ID, again enabled on transaction ID, queried on transaction ID, and then decrypted it with the private key and stored at node B, which was already stored at node B while we generated the private key and public keys. And finally, with this private key, we decrypted the password to decrypt the stream item content, that is the CPU info file. So in this particular video, while you go through the video, you will be able to find out a number of commands that have been executed. So while I have been able to do it in about 9-10 steps, or maybe 13-14 steps, but it takes time. So for those who are trying to enact this video, to go work along with this video and do on their respective terminals, it might take time. You have to be deliberate enough, and all these commands that I have used here, these all commands will be available in the description, or if I'll be able to share the direct link of the multi-chain page, wherein all these commands you can use with a simple cut paste thing. So I'll end this video here, and I expect that you would have liked this video, since I have gone into peculiar details. So do like and subscribe if you actually liked it. Thank you very much.